Have you ever wanted to play Sonic and Mario? No? Well, have you ever wanted to play Mario on the Genesis? No? Well, you can do both of those things anyway. Actually, I'm sure a lot of people wanted to do both of those things quite a bit back in the day. Alright, so here we have Sonic Jam 6 and Super 2 Mario Bros. Mega Drive style. And these definitely have the nicest packaging I've ever seen for a game. These cases, if you even want to call them that, are just folded up paper. And the images on them have clearly just been printed off with an inkjet. So clear! I feel like I'm actually playing the game right now. No, I feel like I'm inside the game right now. No, I feel like I am the game right now. Or something. These games are apparently 16-bit compatible, which is nice because I don't know what the hell other type of system I'd shove these games into. I do rather enjoy the fact that the Super Mario Bros. 2 for Mega Drive just stole the characters from the Super Mario 64 DS cover. But oh look, they stuck them on the Mario 1 background, so that's totally different. I like that they did pretty much the same thing here too for the Sonic artwork, just stuck it onto the Green Hill Zone backdrop. The cartridges themselves have that same kind of blurry quality on them as well. Though the picture they stole for the Sonic Jam 6 card is particularly blurry, and they kind of forgot to put Sonic Jam 6 anywhere. But at least they did let us know that it's a Mega Drive cartridge. And I suppose that is a thing to note with a lot of the Saga knockoffs. They do tend to be housed in Mega Drive cartridges rather than Genesis ones. The main difference being that the Mega Drive cartridges are a bit wider and won't even fit inside an unmodified Genesis. Sonic Jam 6 and Super Mario 2 on the Mega Drive are basically the same game, which is why I'm talking about them together here. Say you remember Sonic Jam, right? That classic game that was barely a game and more a compilation disc of old Sonic games for the Saturn? Well, doesn't that just seem like the best Sonic game to try and cash in on? I'm sure if this had been released a little later, they would have called it Sonic 06. This is a thing these bootleggers like to do sometimes, just slap a random high number on a game title regardless if any of the other numbers in between have ever been released. Cause, you know, high number equals really good. Just like we see here. Man, so good! I'm really glad they changed the worlds to gates. I love gates! I also love that Sonic 3D Blast screenshot being slapped onto the world gate screen. Basically, this game is kind of the reverse Somari. If you don't know that one, it's a Famiclone game where Sonic has been replaced with Mario. Well, okay, it's Somari the Adventurer, who's totally not Mario, but he is, and it's basically Sonic 1 on the Famicom. And Sonic Jam 6 is Sonic placed into Mario 1 on the Sega Mega Drive. Clearly, a lot of the assets for this unlicensed port of sorts have been taken from the Super Mario All-Stars version of Mario 1. But it's not exact, and shock of shocks, they were a bit lazier with some of the graphics here. But look at this! Sonic starts off so pissed that he's red. Bootlegging is no good. Unless you're high. So get Sonic a mushroom. Instead of growing, he just turns into his regular blue self. This is an interesting difference actually versus the Mario 2 version, where the main difference of course is that Mario has been placed back into his own game. And he actually does start small in this one and grows with the mushroom. Also, he can duck while Sonic does nothing when you press down. That is the first time I played this, he did nothing. When I came back to this game to get more footage for this video, I pressed down and what the hell is this? Ducking? Wow! He'll even do it when he's small, aka Red Sonic, so now I'm just confused about why pressing down wouldn't do anything the first time I tried this game. Oh yeah, and there's no spin dash, so you just get that out of your head right now. This red palette Sonic would probably have made more sense for Firepower Sonic, right? Well, guess how Sonic changes when he picks up a fire flower? He doesn't! Now, once you actually get going through a level, you'll notice something right away. Blast processing! One of the biggest things to master with this game is to stop thinking that it plays like Super Mario Bros. It doesn't. Because of the blast processing! You never quite feel like you have total control of your character in this game. It's very slippery, and trying to make precise jumps gets very aggravating. This lack of control leads to a lot of deaths, which you would easily avoid if this game controlled like Super Mario actually does. And if you know Super Mario really well, it actually hinders you while trying to play this messed up abomination of it. Certain rules have been changed on you as well. Want a 1-up mushroom? Well, too bad! It's a 1,000 point mushroom, which does actually give you another life, but you don't know that for sure until you see another gate screen. Some changes actually aid the player though, like having the ability to jump on piranha plants. That just seems wrong, but there you go. It works in this game most of the time. Speaking of jumping on things that you shouldn't be able to, if you can stand fighting with the physics of this game long enough to get to Bowser and get past him, you'll notice that the axe that's supposed to be there to cut down the bridge is missing. Why? Well, because you gotta jump on his head. If you can manage it without dying, Toad's there like he should be, but the fanfare is kinda missing. And you're just left with this version of the castle theme that sounds like it's on a Commodore 64 or something. But here's one of the grossest and most disgusting changes to the Super Mario gameplay. It makes you use all 3 buttons on the Genesis controller. Here's the way they mapped this. C is jump, B is run, which is fine, but then you get to the firepower usage. To shoot a fireball, you have to use A. If you've ever played Mario for any amount of time, you know that having the run and shoot buttons split like this feels completely off. You can kind of adapt to this after playing it for a bit, but I'm just so used to shooting then holding the same button to run after, having them split will often have me going for the wrong button at times. Even on the Super Nintendo controller, which had way more buttons, they didn't split up Fireball and Jump. You know why? Because it feels wrong! It's something you have to go against your natural instincts for, which, like I've said, can sum up a lot of trying to play this game. Enemies are a bit messed up too. Goombas are blast processed! But Koopa Troopas? Nah, they're pretty regular processed, until you try jumping on their shell. What'd I expect? It to work correctly? When you get into this infinite jump on a Koopa shell, you'll often take a hit as well, so if you're small or red, it's a death. Speaking of hit detection, in general, it's crap. So, you're gonna be taking a lot of hits where it seems like you shouldn't have. I was clearly on top of that one. It seems that being above an enemy doesn't matter. You have to be jumping for it to damage them instead of hitting you. Which means if they jump up into you from below, it still kills you. And that makes the flying fish bridge level a real pain in the ass. I'm sure you'll also be surprised to hear there's a fair amount of glitches in this Sonic Mario mess. Sometimes Bowser might shoot his butt at you instead of a fireball, and his big ol' butt isn't that easy to dodge. Wait, Bowser just shot his butt at me? Okay. Also, sometimes you can jump off of lava somehow. This is probably to do with the overall messed up collision detection, as you'll often land partly inside of objects too. You actually have to exploit this to even hit certain blocks, because despite going inside things that are actually there, invisible blocks will still obstruct you even though they shouldn't until they've been made to appear. But without a doubt, the biggest glitch I found was you need to be very careful after you jump on Bowser's head and go into the Toad area. Because you can apparently miss the Toad trigger and he'll never appear, trapping you in this room forever. Seriously, I've apparently jumped over whatever actually caused Toad to appear in this room, so I'm just stuck in a big empty room until the time runs out. This game is programmed perfectly.
That's when Sonic realized the bastards had screwed him. He ran with all his might, but there was one thing Sonic couldn't escape no matter how fast he went. Time.
So, just be sure to walk into that room. There, see? Everything's fine this time. Toad is thanking Sonic in Russian, exactly how it should be. Besides some odd color choices like the red Sonic for his small state and the Mario's fire power colors including blue, a lot of the sprites were pretty spot on. Most were ripped straight from Super Mario All-Stars, and Sonic came from Sonic 3 and Knuckles. Same thing goes for Sonic's Game Over screen. Though, who the hell is this in Sonic's bonus area? He doesn't belong here. Lakitu can apparently just screw up the game pretty badly if he wants to, or just never peek over the cloud. You'll also notice that a lot of the blocks don't contain what they should in later levels. Power-ups will be missing, and the beanstalks straight up don't exist. Those are just always replaced by something else. Warp zones aren't labeled, and they pulled a hilarious trick on you if you know the correct order, as it's supposed to be Warp to World 4 on the left and 2 on the right, and they flipped them on ya. Ha ha ha! Good one, Sonic Jam 6 and Mario 2 Coles 6. Every time you think you're starting to get a feel for this game, you'll die and lose all your momentum. You have to be very careful since the jump mechanics are garbage, and you'll really want to try and keep a fire flower, then the hit detection will straight up screw you over. And since there's no halfway points, you'll start at the beginning of a level again with no power power-ups, and places where there should be power-ups for you won't have them, so you'll get increasingly annoyed and end up trying to charge through the level just to end up dying again. And then you get game over to the beginning of a world again, at which point you've usually had more than enough. It's just super buggy, and the fact they messed with the Mario control scheme when there is no reason to, other than the Genesis has 3 buttons, also makes this a rather awkward playthrough. It looks like Mario, but it does not play like Mario 4. Getting to play Sonic in Mario 1 is kinda strange, and it's also strange to play Mario 1 on a Sega console at all. So, they both get some points for that. Also, there's that red Sonic 5. The paper package I got is a straight up 0. Of course, like almost all of these bootleg games though, there's a ton of other artwork and packaging styles for these 2 games, but most of them are just rip-offs of other stuff from Mario and Sonic titles, so including those, 3. This is a replacement for nothing, unless you've always thought, gee, I wish Super Mario was a fucking shit ton more frustrating. 0. And the Bootleg Zone's VG overall is 5. It's all the gameplay that brings this one's score so far down. If your character didn't feel so slippery, this would be a pretty decent port of the All-Stars version of Mario 1 to the Genesis. It's got its other weird quirks where it's screwed some things up or left some things out, but that's all minor nitpicky stuff compared to being able to control your character accurately.